Hey, good evening. It's Friday, April 30th. Kind of a pleasure to end April with you as we look forward to what God has for us in May. Tonight, Everynight thought, kind of appropriate, I want to talk about sleep. Sometimes we have trouble sleeping. So this is a prayer for sleep. I'm going to read a little bit from Psalm 3, but there's three things I want to accomplish tonight for us to have a guide for sleeping well and asking God to help us. The first thing, if you're having trouble sleeping, is talk to God. Tell Him about what's going on. Don't retreat into other places and things. Just talk to God about it. Ask Him for help. Let Him know what you're struggling with. And then as you're talking to Him, second point here is recognize God's commitment to you. He's faithful and He cares about you. And then lastly, cry out to God. It is okay, cool, good, great, wonderful, wise to cry out to God. Because He's the one that meets our needs. He's the one that can grant our request. Now, these three steps, I'm going to promise you, are not a guarantee for sleep. But they are a guarantee, a plan to trust God. And when we do that, we can trust that what follows is good. So again, no guarantees here, but what we should do when we're struggling with sleep. And I've chosen the third Psalm because it's David asking for sleep and then finding sleep in a relatively stressful situation. His son is trying to kill him and take the throne from him. And more than that, he's less than a couple of miles away with an army much bigger than David's. And yet David is secure and prays this prayer. So, first couple of verses, talk to God. Oh Lord, I have so many enemies. So many are against me. So many are saying, God will never rescue him. So you see, he's talking to God and he's telling God exactly what his situation is. And that's what we need to do. We need to talk to God about what we're facing when we're having trouble sleeping. And then there's this little phrase, interlude. And most of your translations will include it. And it simply means, it's purposely in the text, we don't have a clear idea what it means. But if you're talking about music, there's a kind of a pause and a meditative, reflective moment. Okay, so those are the first two verses. Oh Lord, I have so many enemies. So many are against me. So many are saying God will never rescue him. So he tells God. Then the second section, just verse 3, acknowledge God's commitment to you. Believe this is a reality. Just because you can't sleep for the moment doesn't mean that God has left the building. Doesn't mean he's not less real. Doesn't mean that he's withholding himself from you. You recognize that he's there with you. So David says, but you, O Lord, are a shield around me. You are my glory. You are what gives me hope and joy. You're the joy apple of my eye, if you will. The one who holds my head high. So he acknowledges God's commitment to him. He knows God's committed to him, and he finds comfort in this, and it brings him joy. He knows he's secure in that, and that's the reality. Whatever our scared fears are, whatever our dreams may be, whatever our struggles may be, this reality that David is holding out for, you are a shield around me, even in the stressful situation that David was in. And then the third step, cry out to God. It's okay to be desperate before God. It's okay, Lord, help me to go to sleep. I need you. I'm wiped out. Please hear me. So verse 4, I cried out to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy mountain. Again, another interlude, another chance for pause and reflection, meditation. So that's the layout. Those three things, talk to God, recognize and acknowledge that he's committed to you, and crying out to him. The result of this for David is in the morning, He realizes I lay down and I slept, and yet I woke up in safety, for the Lord was watching over me. I am not afraid of 10,000 enemies who surround me on every side. See, David is not overwhelmed by all the things that are around him that are threatening him. For you, all the things that may be threatening the peace of your sleep. God is there with you. You will wake up in safety regardless of what happens. You will be in God's hands. So the sleep may not come immediately. But what can come is a calm heart that recognizes God for who he is. So if you're having trouble sleeping, just do these 3 things. Talk to God about it. Recognize that you are totally secure in him. Nothing can stop his care for you. And then cry out to him and let him know what's going on. And that's the thought for this night. Think about sleep in this way this night. And I pray that the Lord will make your sleep sweet, peaceful, restorative, and bring healing to you. And that's the thought for tonight. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit that and turn on post notifications. Thank you for the honor of being with you on these days. Lord bless. Have a great evening. Sleep in God's care. Bye-bye.